Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is another wonderful evening in the Spice Island of Grenada, Carriacou, PT Martinique. I want you to go ahead right now and share the live. Go ahead right now, share the live. Let them know that Royalty James is on. The class is in session, ladies and gentlemen. Join the classroom right now. Share the live right now. It is going to be another wonderful evening, man. Sorry, that's the most appropriate song I could have get for this evening, man. That is the most appropriate song I could have get for this afternoon. Sorry. So to everybody on my YouTube page, good afternoon to you. To the persons on my Facebook page, I want to say good afternoon. Yeah, share it all on WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger. We're going to have a discussive evening. Kind of evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is that kind of evening. Share the live. Let persons come on the live now, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, good afternoon. It is a wonderful evening. Today is the 12th day of September, and it is mostly sunny on the outside. I want to advise persons that from the Meteorological Office and from NADMA, we are presently experiencing heat waves throughout the Caribbean, and by extensions, I think there is some parts of North America that are also experiencing same. So we're asking persons to please remain hydrated. Persons that are especially here, try to wear less clothing as possible, even when the kids go off to school. Ensure that you give them enough, liquid items, not too much sweet though. You don't want to, at least at the same time, make them unhealthy, but things like juice. Even if you're making citrus juice for them, try to put minimal amount of sugar in it. Give them their bottled waters, even if it's boiled or so on, or at least give them funds to purchase a water. All right, and please try to stay away from the very cold water, because I myself would have experienced, because of the heat, I'm drinking cold water and I'm starting to experience headaches, right? So advisable people, just go into your pipes and and drink a little pipe bone water. It takes nothing away from what the body really needs, ladies and gentlemen. So it is advised that you please, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and keep yourself hydrated. We're experiencing a heat wave, and so I guess it is one that most persons will say, we're from the tropics, we're used to this. I can tell you this heat is different. For the many of you guys who are really understanding where I'm coming from, that heat is not our regular tropical heat. It feels different. I mean, even from the fans and so on, and your AC, sometimes you have to wonder, You understand me? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is advised that you remain hydrated and you try to wear, very little clothing. It's nothing wrong. Right now, I have a barrel that I full behind the house, and ever so often I try to go into it and try to take a bathe. It's not wrong in taking a little bath outside for those of us who are far away from the beach. I am not. But however, sometimes, when laziness kicks in, you just don't want to get to the beach, all right? Somebody said to me, I wash my face. Yes, Mr. Michael Lambert, I wash my face. So, why you find I look a little bit different? You just find it's hard to say, Prince, you look handsome today. Why, Barry, why you like that? It is okay to say, Prince, you're a little bit outstanding today. You look okay. You understand me? Ladies and gentlemen, let us officially start today's conversation. We would have had some daunting information that would have, was brought, I should say, to our attentions over the weekend. One more so recently as yesterday, as it relates to another fatal incident that involves a firearm or a gun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious. This is extremely serious. I would have shared my opinion this morning via a status on it, but today I want to elaborate on it a bit. Listen to me, people. Bringing past statistics, to the front. Speaking of other Caribbean countries who might be experiencing criminal activities, does not give justification to the rise in gun violent crimes that we're hearing in Grenada. Gun violence is of a serious nature, ladies and gentlemen. Gun violence is not a modus operandi that we have heard about throughout the years in Grenada. This is a new trend of criminal activities that we're hearing. And for those of us who live in Grenada for a lengthy period of time, must understand that. We are not saying that crimes don't happen in Grenada, or crimes might not have happened. We have heard of maybe chopping incidents, more domestic, sometimes neighboring parishes, sometimes neighboring flickers, and but this is, and I'm speaking not only on the notion as a civilian. I spent 12 years as a police officer, and this is the first time I am hearing so many gun-related offenses. Now, today is the 12th of September. On the 14th of August, ladies and gentlemen, we had one person dying due to gun violence. Over the weekend, we had two. So you're saying to me that with 2 days shy of just a month, we are recording 3 fatal incidents that involves gun and 1 injury. I am not speaking as it relates to those before. And persons who are bringing statistics to the fore understand how most times homicide and those different places deem violence or a place unsafe. It goes a lot to do with per capita and the population. A lot of the times when you're making comparison as it relates to economics and statistics, they usually do it per capita and statistically as it relates to the people that lives in that place. And let me say to you, for a place like Grenada, with shy of 2 days of a month, having record 3 fatal incidents involving firearm, 1 injury, ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious call of concern. I am not going to play politics with this. All and sundry will need to put a hand to aid in making this better. But let me say to you this. The fact of the matter is, it comes down to the powers that be. The churches can get involved, yes, we know. The schools can get involved, right? The opposition can get involved, and other private entities. But at the end of the day, the powers that be lays holistically on the RGPF and more so the Ministry of National Security, or to the Minister of National Security. You cannot run from this. You are in the chair, and at the end of the day, this is happening. We are not saying this is happening because a party is in power. But you are in the position to aid in curbing its issue. So most persons are bawling, oh, if it's first time crimes are happening in Grenada. No, this is not the first time. Mind you, before our crime rates being recorded of the past was as high as this was in 2012. Go back and look at it. Don't just show statistics up on the basis that you want to defend a political party. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the measures to be taken must be taken by the powers that be. Whoever other entity may want to involve themselves in aiding in curbing the issue, but the instructions must be passed from the powers that be. When you check statistics, you can't just check statistics on the numbers. At the end of the day, you're putting up statistics and showing what happened in 2019, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the 9th month of 2023, and we have surpassed a numerous amount of years when it comes to the crime rate in Grenada. More than 5 years, and count them. Statistically, within 9 months, we have surpassed the amount of criminal activities that have been recorded in that of homicides. That is a call of concern, or a cause for concern. At the end of the day, we are on month number 9. Month number 9. And God forbid any more happens, but at the end of the day, we need to take to the front and say, listen to me, time to change this. And in my research and all, you know me, I am not one that come along and just talk for talking sake, to sound good or sound nice, or to bring down a political party. But let me just read an excerpt, ladies and gentlemen, as it relates to the AAFP. That is a foundation in the United States that speaks as it relates to gun violence, right? And the research which was done, and understand the importance of this whole issue. And let me just read paragraph 1 and understand from whence I speak. Gun violence is a national public health epidemic. You hear how they deem it? This is the United States speaking. They deem that as an epidemic that exacts a substantiable toll on the U.S. society. Gun violence includes homicide, violent crime, attempted suicide, and listen to this one, and unintentional death and injury. So most of the time we're jumping, oh, well, and as I see many persons are speaking on it and mentioning that the individual that was involved yesterday is a non-national and is known to be involved in drug-related crimes or offenses. That does not change, ladies and gentlemen, that if this individual, wherever traversing from or to, would have given maybe 2 locals a ride, or take it to mean that it was 2 school children that he generously gave a ride to bring home. Because think about the time the offense happened yesterday. Persons are coming from school, persons are coming from work. And the individuals who were there to conduct the criminal activity, not knowing who was in the vehicle, would have turned on those individuals and shot them in the same manner as happened on August 14th, Carnival Monday. You see, at the end of the day, we cannot look at it as to believe that it's something right in front of our faces. This is not it. I am not here playing politics with persons losing their lives. And I am one person who take a stance. You see, when it comes to humanity, I don't play politics with human lives. You see, when something involves human health, gun violence, the incident might have involved Mr. Redden, I don't play politics with those things. But at the end of the day, what has to happen must be done correctly. Because you cannot say to me that at this stage, and I mean, come on, the RGPF gave you a press conference this morning. Of what substance? Of what substance? What did you say to the Grenadian people? Go back and look at the press conferences yourself. The thing about this whole issue, it is way bigger than us. And let me take you into paragraph 2 of the same excerpt. In addition to thousands killed and injured, married families must also cope with the consequences of these violences. In terms of the financial toll, although the estimate varies, it's generally held that gun violence is expensive. And when they speak expenses, hear what they say: medical charges, loss of income, daily care and support, criminal justice expenditure. So when you think of gun violence and you think that it is just here, listen to the things that they label: medical charges. Somebody has got a shot or was shot wherever, did not succumb to the injury in terms of death. But when they go to the general hospital, whose expense is it for they to be taken care of the general hospital? Think about this. Think about this yourself. Loss of income. This individual would have had a job. This person is the breadwinner to his or her family. And this person now is nursing injury at whatever general hospital. And so the income at their houses is unstalled because a gunshot from them 2-3 months. This person is not working. Daily care and support. Take it to mean that this person is a teacher. Take it to mean that the person is a professor. Take it to mean that person is a doctor. Take it to mean that person is a minister of government. And criminal justice expenditure. At the end of the day, to bring the person to justice alone is a cost on government. So the call for the curb in crime is not for us to say to a political organization, you should. We're saying to you, it is advisable that it must. So we're not asking you a favor. We're basically giving you a good advice that this issue must be curbed. The issue has to be curbed because look at the amount of things labeled as it relates to what gun violence can bring indirectly. Because from the time we hear about gun violence and somebody gets shot, we think only about the person that is being shot. And also he goes to the hospital or she goes to the general hospital. On whose expense? The state. Whose taxes? The state. The tools needed to remove the bullet or care for the person. Whose responsibility? The state. Take it to mean, as I mentioned, this person has a good job. They're the breadwinner to their family. Think of that family. Think about the economics that may happen in just that household. And with Grenada being so knitted, it could go further than just the household. It could be the village. So at the end of the day, the call for the issue to be dealt with. Come on. So how many gun-related offense must happen for us to understand that it is serious? It is serious. As I mentioned, we're 2 days short, 2 days shy of 1 month. The 14th of August, we saw the death and injury of an individual. And what happened? Within a 3 days period, we see the death of 2 persons. And this is not concerning. This is not alarming. And mind you, there are suggestions that can happen. There are suggestions, there are things that can happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I was a police officer. They know all the hot spots. They know all the areas. But you see, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, let me play it again.
is done. Yet too many guns passing round. And every day you open the paper, all you read about is murder. Man, it's a shooting spree, but they don't worry me. Yes.
And that is what is going to happen. It's become a norm. Everybody's now accepting it. Everybody have a gun. It's like everybody have a gun right now. Now, if this is not concerning later, ladies and gentlemen, and let me go on to the excerpt that I was reading earlier, and it goes on to say, gun violence should be considered, and listen this, and listen this from the bigger nations, because they're pulling all kind of status from all other countries, but they're not pulling the information that is relevant to what the topic is about. So you see them pulling all kind of status, telling you St. Vincent crime high and Jamaica crime high and way crime high. But it doesn't take away, ladies and gentlemen, that we have an issue. It does not take away that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it goes on. He said gun violence should be considered a public health issue. A public health issue. And here he says after that, not a political one. He said an epidemic that needs to be addressed with research and evidence-based strategy that can reduce mobility and morality. Gun violence affects people of all ages and race. Family physicians care for victims of gun violence and their families every day. These physicians who witness those substantial impact firearm-related violence have on the health of their patients, families, and communities, have the power of health, improve the safety and well-being of those groups. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the great America's assessment as it relates to gun violence. And you hear what they say to you? It is a public health issue. Gun don't have eyes. Bullets, don't have eyes. You hear every day as what you consider to be stray bullets. When you hear those things, ladies and gentlemen, it is important. They are important. And let me go on to say, ladies and gentlemen, you see, at the end of the day, they defend the party and then go on some of them Facebook page. Go on the pages and you see they putting up traffic check in Woban, traffic check in Guave, traffic check in Victoria. So you see, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it takes everybody, all on sundry, to help curb the issue. But they are the ones that still promote the fact that the police, though may attempting to curb the issue, but they're trying to safeguard the offenders. Because the fact of the matter is, the police officer might be on traffic check, and so might be in the right place at the right time to seize a firearm that may cause a bloodshed to a family or friend, or even you. So most of the time you still go on their Facebook page and you see them posting traffic checking. I see one post last night, traffic check in Victoria. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this issue is one that calls for concern. How many times in Grenada have we heard about so many gun-related offenses? This is not happening. This is not 2 months of occurrences, Since the year starts, it dates back to Easter. Around Easter time when the incidents were happening. So we have to wait for persons to keep. And then at the end of the day, I want to speak also as it relates to some of the media houses and the manner in which they disseminate information. Because the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, the nationality of an individual or his criminal practices does not say to the Grenadian people or does not bring comfort in them. There was a voice note that somebody had me listen to last night, which sounded like a Vincentian voice, who asked the question, is it X, Y, or Z that got shot in Grenada? Well, if it's so, where is bloodshed? What does that say, ladies and gentlemen? Think about it yourself. And I have another excerpt that says, the rise in criminal and gun violence throughout the length and breadth of the United States speaks to it as it relates to drug relations. So, if the person who was involved in the fatality yesterday is accused or alleged would have had previous charges surrounding drugs, shouldn't it not raise an alarm even further? Should it not raise an alarm even further? Because it means, ladies and gentlemen, that sooner or later, he might have friends. They may inquire as to who killed him. And so what would happen then? What would happen? You see, the thing about it, sometimes when we think and we talk and we converse about certain things, we look right in front of our faces here. Right in front of our faces. So we never tend to see the bigger picture. Because if we're mentioning that it's drug related and we're publicizing that the probable cause, I'm not saying that is, or you're putting out there that the probable cause for his death could be drug related, what are you saying? So people, we need to be extra careful. Extra careful. I know you all would have missed me for a moment there. Apparently my finger would have pressed something. So you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that these criminal practices that is now boring. Well, I don't believe it's boring, you know. I believe it is at its embryo stage. You understand me? It's a cause for concern, ladies and gentlemen. And with the recreational gathering that happens also regular in Grenada. And I speak recreational gathering, sometimes like a bingo, little events. Because, I mean, in the same excerpt, they speak as it relates to places where these people meet. And one of the things mentioned was Caribbean festivals, meaning Labor Day and so on. And when they meet in those places, they tend to retaliate. Not to retaliate, but become violent with each other. Because that's the place they could meet. And what happens there? What have we heard for the past few years when it comes to Labor Day and gun-related crimes? The fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't mean that it's our people that are getting involved. But it's happening on our shores. It is happening on our shores. We ought to protect our place. We ought to protect where we're living. The image of our country is what is going out. You feel putting up on Facebook is a Guyana, a Vincentian, a Trinidadian, changes the fact that somebody wanting to visit here, they will tell you don't visit, you can visit Grenada because the persons that they're killing there are Trinidadians or St. Vincent and Vincentians or Guyanese. This is not what would be posted. And first, we must protect image. We first must protect image. Then, another important and integral part is media and media information. Yesterday, you're seeing that the person died, succumbed to injury. And then you've seen media houses giving justification that is an individual who was involved in drug relations and so on and so forth. That is unnecessary right now. What is the importance of disseminating that information? What is the importance of letting the public know this person died? And you're suggesting, without an investigation, you know, you pick up that somebody succumbed to an injury or somebody died through a gunshot, and you're putting up information about he was involved in drugs and he had drug charges. This is irrelevant to the information that has to be disseminated. So somebody is murdered and you say, oh, the last time is an individual who was arrested and charged for rape. This is irrelevant to the dissemination of the information. At the end of the day, you are giving information to an incident, not for the reason of the incident. You're not the police. So your information dissemination should strictly be on the whole topic or conversation of the incident. Of the incident, that is all. That is what you want to disseminate. This is what you let out. This is information that you want to give. But you see, we have a habit in Grenada that sometimes before the police investigate, we don't know all what happened. And we disseminate the information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it is an issue. And I will post I'll copy and paste the information on my page. I don't know, for some reason or the other. I don't know if it's me that is too hot today. But I just have a feeling that my AC is really not giving out the level of cooling. And again, you remember I spoke about the heat? I don't know. I just don't know. My AC is not blowing the way that I want it to blow. So you'll find me, perspiring a lot. Somebody saying, teacher, when last the police squeezed drugs in the country that we know about? So the place come a free port. So we must find crimes teachers. Drug is. Ladies and gentlemen, and another relevant point. Let me say this, and let me bring that out. I want to first congratulate the Guelph and Victoria Police Station. Right? Even the officers at the P.T. Martinique Police Station, because although Guelph would have had a recorded crime, I believe that when you look at a place like St. Mark's and P.T. Martinique, they are the only two places, and I'm subjected to correction, I believe, that have not recorded any homicide or murder for the year so far. So kudos to P.T. Martinique and my beautiful parish, St. Mark's. But I want to speak as it relates to the officers at Victoria. And I want to say this openly, because at the end of the day, being a police officer, one of the things I remember throughout the years as a police officer that was taught to us that curbs criminal practices a lot was community policing. Being involved with the people within your policing area. So persons knew you on a more personal basis than just seeing you as a police officer. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. For years past, violence against women, violence against children, and other criminal practices, we saw some serious marching take place that involved the police. Right? I remember community watch. I remember being a part of a community watch when I worked in Grenville in Hope. I remember being part of a community watch in South St. George when I'm down at Lansapine when I worked at South St. George. So I knew of many community involvement when it comes to policing, ladies and gentlemen. And this, I believe, again, could aid in the curbing of those crimes. But when you have persons that are sitting on a political chair in the RGPF, and not in the RGPF on a political chair, no. They're sitting on a political chair first before serving the RGPF. It becomes a problem. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there are things that can be done. There are things that can be done. You don't have to announce it. There are strategic ways in which those things can happen. But as I said, when there are persons sitting in political chair before servicing the RGPF, we would have a problem like this. As aforementioned, think about it yourself. When last we have heard about a big drug boss? And so, what you feel could be the issue for it? That it doesn't have police? Yes, they are. But they are demoralized. They are demoralized. You just give them $200 to work for in the next 3 years. Every month or every year, a month or so, they're getting $60. Basically, persons are asking themselves, what am I working for? Persons are wanting to resign. Because why? You place in front of them the nice shadow of pension and pension payment. And so they don't want to service no more. They want to come home and get a big lump sum. Because you didn't have a way of strategically keeping them there for the services rendered. And that's another thing. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to be a retiree to be collecting gratuity in the police force. You all have to just make 26 or so and a quarter or a third or something of that nature. I'm subjected to correction. And you're getting your gratuity. You understand me? But you are not getting pension because you may not have retired and reach retirement age. But you can stay within the police force and obtain your gratuity. But no. You didn't put that on your paper. You spoke about pension payment. And hence the reason why when the past administration spoke as it relates to gratuity and gratuity payments, you kick it down, man. Because I all know, even if officers may not have had an increase, but officers who are senior enough and would have rendered the service, would have been police officers, remain in the police force, give service to state, and collecting the gratuity. If you did it in a strategic way. Nah, man. Dr. Mitchell spoke about that. I'll just shoot it down. Shoot it down because the intention there and then was to ensure that you hit the political venture. You hit on the political trail. You understand me? So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there are officers who are reluctant to give that service. Reluctant. I remember being a police officer, and by the time we finish work, we're in the station. We're cooking. Go upstairs in the barracks, we watch basketball, we watch football. Because we were moral, we had morals, we wanted to work. There was a reason to work. Remember passing out in October in 2006. I remember passing out. And in December, somebody said to me, but you have to go and collect a check at the fort. Asking myself, I said, but what I do to collect a check already? Go up on the fort, young police officer, just about 3 months old, performing duties or an actual tour of duty, collected a check based on short payments the government had promised to give to police officers. Young police officer collect about $1,000 and some. I collected that for about 2-3 years going. You have to moralize. You have to give persons a reason to want to work. You have to give persons a reason why they're doing what they're doing. Now, you negotiate it for yourself and ensure that your name that has to go on the paper, you have to look good. You understand me? Mosquito Man is saying something. He say, if I have to make a comparison, I would say Grenada is like hell with its gates open. So to compare us to heaven, there must be booze. They must be talking about paradise up in St. Andrews. Ladies and gentlemen, but I'm saying, and I go all this to say, comparison, statistics of past, and comparison to other countries does not bring justification or aid in curbing the issue. As I said, Grenada, yes, have recorded a year where we would have seen much more. Not much more, but I think a higher. I think it was about 16. What number are we now? About how much we are now? I think 2012. I think 2012. When I look at the statistics, 2012 was one of our highest recorded year. And so far, I think we're right up there. Right up there. Go on Google it, type in Grenada crime, and you would see from Loop and other places. Go on Google them And they're saying to you there is an increase in crime. Feel it's we Grenadians alone that have seen it? Tourist season is about to open. We learned of a missing individual today. God forbid, please protect that he does not turn up anything bad. I pray that he is found in one piece. Because let me say this to you. St. George's University and the way of dealing with issues as it relates to their students, especially persons from the United States, are dealt with differently. I can tell you that. They would not take it lightly. They would not take it lightly. I'm saying this to you, and I know why I'm saying this to you. That the spirit that this individual might have succumbed, and if he's found in any bad way, and I pray he's not, and I pray that nobody would have, did anything to him. I pray that we work hard and try and finding him, and nothing, as I said, nothing wrong happens to him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted today also advocate, and I don't know the process, and I think I may have to go through the proper process. But today, I feel the urge to strongly suggest or advocate to the Royal Grenada Police Force and other entities, be it schools or whatever entity, ladies and gentlemen, that I believe that we can put together a wonderful little match, right, to the RGPF or whomever that we do a nice little match. It don't need to be long. It doesn't need to be violent. But I think we should take a stance and do a nice little match for the gun-related offenses in our country. If it means standing one place and advocate to persons to cease and desist, I don't know, as I said, who I need to speak with. If anybody wish to direct me as to whom I need to speak to, I am open to all and every suggestion. All right, ladies and gentlemen, but I believe in my own scope as a young Grenadian, I have 2 wonderful kids. I have a wonderful wife. Sorry, not 2. I have 7 children. My wife, kids included. Myself, I don't want to. Neither any one of you all there. You understand me? Somebody saying a crew went out to search this, and it's confirmed that his hat was found. However, this is normal on a hike. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this suggestion, and this is coming from, I believe, if I get your agreement, from the ClassRoom program. I want to speak to whomever, if you have to write anybody. I think it needs to be a peaceful something, maybe from the National Stadium to maybe the Carnage, or maybe from the Carnage to the National Stadium. Try to ensure that the traffic is not disturbed. I think that it's time that we advocate as a people that the crimes involving guns, and this is my concern, people. I'm telling you, as a police officer, I have seen firearms discharged unknowingly to even police officers who are trained to use it. I believe Miss Ferguson, who served longer than I am, can give you stories and stories as it relates to firearms discharging. You understand me? It does not mean that it being on you is safe. It does not mean that. Don't believe for a moment that it being on you is safe. As long as it is in the possession Because at the end of the day, gun don't kill people. People kill people. And the mere fact that you're in possession of it within a crowd, you never know what can happen. Because most of the offenses are persons traveling with the firearm. You never know what could happen. And let me say something to you people. You see, when you have a firearm on you, the devil don't want to make a joke with you. Because you believe that you are indispensable at that position. You believe that nothing wrong can happen to you. And I'm saying to you, that is a feeling that I myself would have had. When you have a firearm, you could walk through any dark spot, as opposed to when you're without one. So you understand the levels that persons not trained to use it. As I said, you could have anything happening there. And so I really want to advocate. I want to involve Her Majesty's opposition, the government if they so see fit, the Red Cross, whomever it is, ladies and gentlemen. Within the next week or two, I want to advocate that we take a stance as it relates to gun violence through the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Understanding that there are persons who are seriously concerned about that. It is not nice to be sitting in your house enjoying Netflix and a stray bullet kill you inside the house. I'm saying this to you because, ladies and gentlemen, when a shot, when it leaves the magazine and exits the barrel, there is not a GPS on it. There is not a GPS on it. There is nothing saying that you could talk to a bullet and say, you're going and shoot that person only. And it is really a call for concern. I am not politicizing this, but I'm saying to you, at the end of the day, the powers that be is who must make the decisions to aid in curbing it. So if it means more police powers, more patrols, at the end of the day, the cost comes down to the state. If somebody is injured, so on and so forth. And this is the concern that we're looking at. All right? So we're employing to persons, we're saying to persons, and I'm saying this now, that it is just my suggestion. And if there are persons who wish to join, then it is welcoming. I know definitely you may have to write to the RGPF and so on and so forth. I think that procedure, we may have to look into it. But even if it's 2 persons, 3, it is important that we ask of the persons who might be in possession of. And I think the police force could even render some form of I think there is amnesty. I know one of the countries, I remember one of the states in America one time when I was following the incidents at one of the colleges, they did an amnesty where if you're bringing your firearm, you get, I think you got monies or you got something. You got something, but you were not charged for the offense. That is another suggestion. So you see, there are things in place, ladies and gentlemen, that can help in bringing these things to a better solution. There are suggestions. There are things that can happen. At the end of the day, what could have gone to the Ministry of Education or maybe the Ministry of Health may have to go to a person or persons at the General Hospital dealing with injuries due to gun violence. This is what we want to stop. And as I said, the Great America, you hear they put it? It's a health issue, a public health issue. Not in the further reading, it says an epidemic. So they know the seriousness of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end the evening although we had a very long conversation as it relates to the gun issue. But I want to end the evening with this conversation, because at the end of the day, always say, ladies and gentlemen, I like to wait. I'm a patient guy. Eh? I'm very patient. I am very, very, very patient. I'm very patient, ladies and gentlemen. And so I like when I don't just want to come on the program and talk. So I want to play this clip here. Listen to this. And let me ask when I'm through an important question.
The then acting Chief Executive Officer, Peter Andal, resigned from his position and from the existing board. Speaking with GBN today, Andal explained his reason for the move.
I resigned that position in, was it February when government decided to close marketing board? Mm-hmm. It was February. I resigned the position and I resigned as a member of the board of directors of marketing board, because I didn't agree with what the Prime Minister was doing. The board didn't agree. We asked the Prime Minister to let us restructure marketing board, and he decided he wanted to close it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the voice of Emmeline Pear. No. That was the voice of Peter David. No. That was Sheldon Scott. No. A mosquito man. No. And a mosquito man. He sound like Carl. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the voice of persons advocating for the new National Party. This is not somebody, as normally does say, Kid Mitchell pay them to do that. This is a gentleman. When in February, the Marketing and National Importing Board conversation was brewing in Grenada, was made the executive chief. And here this gentleman is saying to state that the decision was never made by the board, or the agreement for the marketing board to close down was never an agreement of the board, and it was more so of the Prime Minister. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a serious thing. Ask yourself the question, within a year and 4 months, how many other decisions that was taken with just the Prime Minister's decision? Unknowing to state, because I was never knowing, or I never knew that this gentleman would have resigned from that position. It was never made public. We are on the 12th day of September, when this administration said to us, but that time, the marketing board would have been up and running. At this stage, Dr. Mitchell, who was called dictator and always wanted to be in charge, an individual who this administration placed in charge of a board, is saying to you that a board did not decide, but the Prime Minister,
Chief Executive Officer Peter Andal, resigned from his position and from the existing board. Speaking with GBN today, Andal explained his reason for the move.
I resigned that position in, was it February when government decided to close marketing board? Mm-hmm. It was February. I resigned the position and I resigned as a member of the board of directors of marketing board, because I didn't agree with what the Prime Minister was doing. The board didn't agree. We asked the Prime Minister to let us restructure marketing board.
So I guess Andal lied. Yes, Mr. Andal is publicly saying a lie. That he didn't say he, he said we, meaning the board that he was a part of, said to the Prime Minister, no, gosh, boss, he's up now. We don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I will end this afternoon. And for your homework, ask yourself the question, how many other decisions the Prime Minister would have made without the board approval? How many decisions has he made in his own capacity as Prime Minister? And if this is not dictatorship, then, ladies and gentlemen, Grenada is the best place on earth. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, I want to invite you guys. I want to say good evening to the many persons of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. The Carriacou NMP branch, they present a bingo that's $500 on September 30th. That jackpot is $500 and many more other cash prizes. Ticket costs only $20. You can go out there at Sunrise Disco, that's in Windward. Music by top DJs. Eats and drinks would be on sale. SBG promotion on Sunday the 8th of October. They present in the Water Day Cruise aboard the Rum Runner 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you could get your tickets from Scaro or any one of the guys. So don't forget to be a part of this. Tickets cost only $70. So go out there right now. You can go at the Lookout Bar. You can check Scaro, Bill, or you can check Vicar. That's a bar by Charlton. So you can always contact any one of the guys for a ticket. All right, ladies and gentlemen. G-Buggers, ladies and gentlemen, they're located on Wall Street. You can call them on 536-7375 to get yourself some of the best tasting burgers in Grenada. They're open from Monday to Saturday. Late hours, they go up to 1 in the morning, so you can get yourself a burger. You can always buy one if you don't feel to eat late in the night and put it in the fridge, warm it in the microwave in the morning. So check out G Burgers, one of the best tasting burgers, ladies and gentlemen. Our burger for the day is the lamb burger. All right, lamb, L-A-B, not Lamborghini or anything like that. It's a lamb burger. It's minced lamb pate served with onion, diced pickles, lettuce, fresh tomatoes, cheese and dressing. And if you want any other dressings, ladies and gentlemen, you just tell them, and this would only cost you $2. All right, so you can check out G Burgers. Hush 5.2, they present in sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I get tired. Hush 5.2, they present I Want to Come all-inclusive catamaran cruise aboard the Carib Cats. Ladies and gentlemen, they're sailing from 2 on October 1st. One ticket costs you $120. They sail from 3 to 7 p.m. All right. And Rachel presents fundraising luncheon. That would be on the 30th of September from 11 a.m. You can get macaroni pie, rice and peas, cuckoo and green salad, chicken $15, pork $20, fish $20. To purchase your tickets, contact 414-7615 or 533-6154. It is for a worthy cause, so come support, and drinks would be on sale. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So it was another wonderful evening. Thank you so very much for tuning in and listening this afternoon. To the persons on my YouTube page, I want to say blessed evening to you guys. As I say, you all are special in my heart. All right. I don't want the persons on Facebook to get upset, but the persons on YouTube, I know it's an extra thing to sometimes get on YouTube. The easier thing is Facebook. So the persons that are on my YouTube page, I want to say, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I always try my very best to give my best in terms of the information to be disseminated. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So all who tuned in this afternoon, I want to say thank you guys so very much for tuning in as always. And we would see you again tomorrow right here, same time. All right. Somebody says, Principal, what's going on? And for PM. And for Petit Martinique. All right, but on a serious note, as I said, I really want to do that march. I would speak to some persons that I can and ensure that, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we can get on into, the information that we want, sent out. All right. We don't just want to do it on a political front. We want to do it for the betterment of state. And so I remember when the last national address happened, the Prime Minister would have asked for the opposition leader and all private and public entities to get on board. And so I want to be the person to basically suggest that government and other entities come together and conduct a march, a march against gun violence. And so I would start it. They say it's not what your country can do for you, but it's what you can do for your country. And if it means me getting shot by doing that, then I'm doing it for state, man. I'm being honest. But don't shoot me. I don't ready to dead yet. Some nice little children there that I need to see them grow up. All right. But on a serious note, ladies and gentlemen, that is something I would be advocating for. You will hear more on it tomorrow again. I'll try my best to engage one or two persons who may have, more knowledge as it relates to what must happen. All right, so you have yourself a wonderful evening. This is yours truly, Royalty James. It was another wonderful evening to be with you guys. I want to say God's blessings to each and every one of you. And we would see again come tomorrow at 6 p.m. Same time, same place. All right, God's blessings, ladies and gentlemen.